This is Hannibal here from The Hannibal TV on YouTube. This is a wrestling news update, and it's also going to be my review of the first 3 episodes of Season 2 of WWE Unreal. Yes, I actually made it through the episodes with relative ease. It's not like watching for people that say I'm bitter, I mean, it was entertaining enough that I watched it and I wasn't looking at the time how much longer and stuff. But I'll get into that later. I'll get into a bit of the news first. Raw for the January 12th episode did not make the Netflix top 10 for the week again. So Netflix paying billions for WWE programming. Hopefully they're going to get more interest in shows like Unreal, because Raw, which only like their first Raw of the year was back into the top 10. It had been out of the top 10 for numerous weeks in December, and now it's out again. But their future is a lot more certain than AEW's. AEW's future is very uncertain, with Netflix taking over WBD, where their TV shows play. Their TV shows, which, by the way, Collision is not doing well at all, only getting around 0.3, 0.4 ratings. And Dynamite's only been getting 0.7, 0.8 ratings, down 59% last week from the same week the previous year. But something was reported by Meltzer today. I guess WBD, we all wondered why they were paid so much for their TV deal, why AEW was paid so much by WBD. I guess WBD owns a percentage of AEW. Apparently anything 10% or over, they would have to disclose the exact amount. So it's something less than 10%. But they do, in fact, own a percentage of AEW, which Tony Khan has never denied. He hasn't confirmed, but he's never denied it. And now I guess it has been confirmed. The exact percentages, who knows? But one thing's for sure, I don't think, knowing the type of company WWE is, that they're going to be fighting for Netflix to keep AEW around. I don't think AEW, as far as having a TV show, has a very bright future, since their show is doing terrible, worse than ever, legitimate, both in attendance and in ratings. And WBD, their home for TV, is being sold to a company that's in bed with WWE, that being Netflix. And by the way, MJF, who had very few matches last year. Yes, he's one of the most over people in AEW, but he took some shots at WWE last week at them for not pushing young talent. However, AEW does have a lot of old wrestlers under contract. Not only that, but they're getting their ass kicked right now by not only WWE, but they're losing to NXT every week. And they hit the same rating as TNA last week for one of their TV shows. So it's like, you shouldn't exactly be bragging that, oh, AEW has made me the champion at 29, but we're getting lower ratings and attendance than ever. That's not really anything to brag about. By the way, Mike Bennett is one of these people that still has a job in AEW somehow. He's literally never been over. He's one of these people that has had a job in wrestling for years without ever being over. They released his wife, CM Punk's ex, Maria Kanellis, not too long ago. She didn't do much in AEW, but she was around for many years, just collecting a paycheck. But now they're having another kid. And I wonder if they're having another kid just so good old Uncle Tony will keep a paycheck in the family. Because honestly, I'm a big believer in you should have to be over somewhat to have a job in wrestling. And I don't see Mike Bennett being over at all. It's just sad when people like that have jobs. People that have had jobs for years, when there's so many more talented people out there that don't have jobs because for whatever reason, political or what, these people have spots and just take up space. So let's talk about WWE Unreal. By the way, here's a picture of one of the WWE writers. Here's another one. And there's some more really geeky writers. The show is interesting to see how they do stuff behind the scenes, but I don't know how much it's going to help them in the long run because they don't necessarily come off looking that cool. For instance, Abyss, one of the producers, comes off looking like a real geek again in this, and they show the producers watching the matches and hugging each other and going crazy backstage as if they're producing magic. But I just reported Raw wasn't even in the top 10 last week. And they're doing less events than ever. For God's sake, they're going to Montreal next week, where Montreal's paying them to come. They used to go to Montreal every 3 or 4 weeks. And there's only 7,000 pre-sold tickets for a 20,000 seat arena. But the show is interesting as far as it shows the behind the scenes. The first episode was a lot of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Them talking about them and their kids. It's interesting when you see people like Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley without makeup on and all these close-up shots. And maybe they have some makeup, but they don't look that attractive. That was the main thing I noticed in this for Lynch and Rhea Ripley. They look a lot more attractive when they're out there in full makeup. They were going over the fake injury that Seth Rollins had, how they plan out matches, how he doesn't like doing ladder matches. They also went through R-Truth's, which I guess Triple H clarified he was never released. I guess they were in contract negotiations, and they were going to offer him a new contract, but he was not happy with the money. So they basically came to a standstill where it was like, okay, we're not going to pay you this much, so we're not going to renew your contract. And before it expired, R-Truth went to social media and made a big deal that he was going to get released. And this was well played, R-Truth. You are a master. You got the whole social media behind you, and you ended up getting your biggest contract of all time, a 4-year deal. What have they done with you since they re-signed you? Nothing. But, I mean, you're set for life. So you played the game well there. 100%. I gotta respect him for that, and he has been a mainstay over the years. I'm not taking. He has a good look, good rapper. For people who like rap, he sounds all right. I don't like real comedy in wrestling. I'm a real one for believability. So he hasn't really been like someone that I've liked, but I do respect R-Truth. There was a lot of Chelsea Green in these episodes. The second one in particular, showing this monstrous house that she's having built for herself, since they all make so much money. A lot of hugging. I notice in wrestling, like that's one of the things that it's like we all go backstage in WWE and we hug a lot. And when Triple H is going to tell you something, he's going to be it seems like very touchy-feely huggy back there. So again, some people like that. But to me, it's like there's no rawness to it. You get the impression from this, well, it's interesting that it's just a big show. They're all friends. For the most part, it's nerds writing this stuff. Well, some of the wrestlers are cool. They're just following orders and doing what they're told. It doesn't come off as like a cool product, but it is interesting to see how it's put together. But as I said, for me to make it through 3 episodes in a day, I found it interesting. They also showed some stuff of Penta. former PCW Ultra wrestler. I got a couple of his matches on this channel from PCW Ultra, just showing how he's gotten over. Nothing too much with him yet, up to the third episode. But you guys can let me know what you thought of it in the comments. But to me, yeah, it doesn't show that. Oh, it also went into Pat McAfee or McAfee, however the hell it is, and his match with Gunther. Again, Gunther shaking hands and hugging, showing sportsmanship. They don't go too much to him out of character, but if Gunther's such an asshole, why would he shake Pat McAfee's hand after the match? I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of really like geeky, nerdy stuff in it. But it's interesting, but it's not like, oh my God, this is cool, I gotta watch it. It's like you're getting a peek behind the magician's curtain, so you're interested, but you don't necessarily, you want to see what's behind there, but it doesn't make you want to watch the product. That's the impression I got from it. Someone is saying to get heat, wrestlers must hit people in the audience. I don't know who said that. There was one part in this, and I think this was getting into episode 4, which I've only watched a bit of, where Paul Heyman was saying that he didn't like this show, even though he's a main part of the show. And he says he doesn't like saying what a work is, but then talked about a work that they did with the Sandman being blinded in ECW. And this is an angle that people still talk about today. Really, honestly, no one talks about that angle today. But Paul Heyman will try and spin it like he was the mastermind of everything. I'm not a Paul Heyman fan. I find him boring as hell. Someone says he skips the hugging and crying each time they wrestle, the behavior of dorks. I mean, yeah. Let's have a match, and then after, let's go and hug and cry. It's true. It doesn't make them look cool. And even Braun Breaker, there's a thing of Triple H saying, tomorrow you're going to get to spear someone. Oh, thank you, and let's hug. And Triple H even pulls him in by the face as if he's almost going to kiss him. It's like, I'm sorry, but what the hell is up with this? Wow, I can't believe I'm getting this opportunity. I don't know, man. It's, keep in mind when you get a push, you make millions more a year, so maybe you're crying over that, but it doesn't like make them look cool. I agree with you. It is the behavior of dorks, but whatever. Triple H is cashing out. This is the Triple H show. He comes off looking like the P.T. Barnum of it all. So I don't see the show going away anytime soon. I know it's been picked up for the 3rd season. I'm going to probably watch the other 3 episodes and finish reviewing them tomorrow. So I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you for your comments.